views on key policy issues. Regulatory headwinds are continuing to hurt Indian telecom. Former CA of Bharti Airtel and now the chairman of MicroMax, Sanjay Kapoor, also spoke to ETNOW's Gauri Dwivedi about various issues, including pricing power in the telecom sector.
Going forward, a lot of spectrum has to come to India to make the industry competitive and to make the nation competitive. I think the TRAI is thinking absolutely in the right direction to say we need to put all this spectrum on the table to make sure that we have a viable business, that we have a viable service, and then the quality of service goes up for the consumers to have a good experience. Because if only a little bit of spectrum is left with all the operators and there are lots of, it's allowed to be dearer. Right, and it will become more and more expensive.
This is actually the worst that can really happen in terms of the worst case scenario, because at this stage it doesn't look like you will have a lot of spectrum being put up on the table, just renewal being coming up for auction, and that as an industry veteran, somebody who's handled tough issues very closely, how do you see that? How big a dent could it be for some of the bigger players who really have a lot at stake right now?
With very little spectrum on the table and no alternative available, and a business continuity question staring each one of them to say, if I was to lose the spectrum, I probably need to shut down my business.
Right.
Now that's a very, very tough call to take. And I can just imagine what will be happening when the auctions would take place. There'll be fingers pressing the trigger all the time to just have a business continuity in place.
These regulatory headwinds have been around for a fairly long time. This uncertainty is sort of now part of the sector, so to say. But do you think the worst is sort of over for the sector?
Whatever revival of performances that we see in the market has a lot to do with the price recovery happening. So I think from that perspective, from a hyper-competitive perspective, probably the worst is behind us, at least for this phase. I think everybody knows what the regulatory issues are. Everybody is taking cognizance of that, but I don't think we have a solution.
Now, lower tax collections is